Good morning. We're moving some corn this morning, getting ready to finish shelling corn here at Waldron. We're almost done, 35 acres. So we've got a couple of truckloads of dry corn to haul in, which means we took a couple of dry loads out of the overhead. So we're refilling that at the moment and getting ready to start the dryer. For some reason, all of my lights are on in the wet bin, and I know that the top two don't have corn by them. This is a flaw in my design. So my sensor is right there, and when we get humid, dewy, foggy mornings, which were a little foggy, not near as bad as they said it was going to be, the dust sticks to those sensors and it trips them, so the lights come on. So we have to climb in here and clean them off, which isn't that big of a deal. This one doesn't even look that bad. Just kind of wet. And then the next one down. So we're not pulling out of this bin. It is not active. We're pulling out of the dry bin, so it is okay that I am in here. Plus, I never even got off the ladder, and now our lights are out on the top two sensors, so we're good there. We'll wait for our overhead to get full, start the dryer, and then haul corn, and then shell corn. All right, overhead's full, wet bin's emptying, dryer's drying. I gotta get to hauling. It was supposed to be super foggy this morning. It is mildly foggy this morning. However, I just got an alert that my kids, who are on a 2-hour delay from school, have now, their school has been canceled for the day due to fog. Huh. How about that? Now, to be fair, their school is 25 miles from here, and maybe it's foggy there. I don't know. But, yeah. I think they're already at the babysitter, though, so not hanging out with me today. Waiting at the pit here at the elevator, waiting for our turn. There's 2 trucks in front of us. Did you guys see I did a live stream last night? Kind of unannounced and all of a sudden. But, yeah, we did that. And what's more than that, Nick Welker commented on it. Was watching my live stream. How cool is that? I was pretty surprised by that. But anyway, if you didn't get to see that, go check it out. Or wait, we'll be going soon. Well, we came straight over to the field. We're gonna go shell corn. Brock's here today. He's on his way over with the pickup, and he's gonna run carts, so I get to run the combine, which is awesome. So the combine is getting this black coating on it. We saw that in wheat a lot. It was from the disease in wheat. I haven't seen it this fall until the last couple of fields, just really yesterday. I thought it was from the one before this where we found the ear molds, but we might be getting some of it from out here too. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely tar spot and stuff, but we've had tar spot in a lot of corn and it hasn't done that, so I don't think that's what's causing it. I don't know which one of the 2 varieties were in here, but one of them may be worse than the other. I don't know. It's still really good corn, so it's hard to complain about it, but it's something to take note of and see if we can't figure out how to fix it in the future. Oh yeah, there comes all that black dust. When you start the separator up in the morning, the machine up, all the dust that is settled gets stirred up, and there's a big fan in there that kind of pressurizes the inside of the combine, and so a lot of it comes forward out the feeder house. It's not smoke, it's not on fire, it's dust. But once we get material moving through and kind of getting the flow through the combine, that dust all goes towards the back instead of coming out the front. You can, maybe you can't, but everything is very dark and black, and we've got black dust on the head, we've got it on the combine. It's, yeah, definitely we've got some disease going on here that's it's concerning. The thing is, this corn is still like really good, so yeah, I don't know what the disease is that's causing it that didn't hurt the yield, or maybe it did hurt the yield and the corn would be that much better if we didn't have it. I don't know. Look at how clean that corn is coming in. Just hardly any trash. We're not breaking the tops off. All the plant material's going right down through the head. We're just bringing in ears. A few kernels flying around because of the dry corn. You're gonna have that. I can adjust the stripper plates a little bit, the speed of the head, although I've got it running pretty slow. So this variety, this is the 11V76, and it is a tremendous yielding corn, and it's really easy combine and easy shelling. We have very, very low losses. We can get the sample nice and clean. I really like this hybrid. All right, so I talked yesterday about how I wanted to do my little compaction study that we did last year, right? Where we harvest one row at a time from the planter pass. So I have isolated next to me a planter pass here, and we're not gonna do the whole half mile because that'll take me forever. But we'll cut it off somewhere in the middle here, and then we'll harvest that one row at a time. We'll weigh, well, 2 rows at a time. We'll weigh each time and keep track of that, keep some samples so that we can see if the tracks on our planting tractor helped over the tires and the pinch rows and stuff. But we got to get some more stuff opened up. So you can see in the background map there, the green strip is what's already harvested, but the pink and blue or brown over there is the variety split. So we're past that, which is what I was trying to get to be away from where that was. And we're gonna get some trucks loaded so Phil's moving, and yeah. We'll get to this, but we gotta, like I said, we gotta get stuff opened up around it. But I have isolated out a pass where we're gonna try it. So you can see the difference in that variety versus this variety. That's the last pass of that one. That's the 08R52. It's been good corn, but it is not quite as good as this 11V out here. So, yeah, we'll get that one. And then the next strip over there is a planter pass. That's where we're gonna do our compaction study. We're gonna split that one in half or something, though I'm not gonna do the whole length, like I said, because that would just take way too long. So, but we are gonna keep working over towards the house and some of the rows in the back here for right now, because, well, my plan is when Phil gets behind with the trucks that we can do that and let him catch up a little bit. Okay, I am opening up the end rows here on this, behind this house and pasture. I'm gonna dive across. We're just gonna break this strip right in half, and then we're gonna take the front off. We'll do our trial in the back here. It's a little more consistent, soil type, a little better stand. Should give us better results. So we'll see. And I think we got time to do it now. I'm going to send Brock back to the farm because I need a marker to mark on my bags for the samples. So, because we got to take moisture samples on all of these because it could vary row to row. And I need a measuring wheel to know my length. Okay, Brock's got enough to fill that truck up there, and then he's going to park our cart back here for us, and we're going to do this strip with these, this compaction test here. He's going to take the black truck back to the farm, grab us a measuring wheel because we need to know the length of these, and I need a marker to mark on my sample bags. I think I already told you guys this, but here's the procedure for what we're going to do. We're going to harvest this one row at a time, which is tedious and painful, but it gives us great data. And so I'm going to take this row, and then on the way back up, we're going to take the one on the other side. So those are rows 1 and 16 on the planter. And rows 1 and 16 are both on the outside. There is a planter tire that runs between rows 1 and 2 and 15 and 16. So they're identical. And then the next time we'll take the next 2 rows, and those have a planter tire on both sides of each row, but it's just a wing tire without much weight on it. And then we'll do the next one and the next one. And then number 4 there has no tires, and number 5 has no tires. Until we get all the way into the middle, and we're doing rows 8 and 9 together, which actually have no tires. Well, they have a planter tire, but not tractor tires because of our tracks this year. The big difference I expect from last year to this year is rows 7 and 10, because those are the ones that had tractor duals on both sides of them last year, and this year would just have a track on one side. So we'll see what happens here. We don't trust the combine yield monitor at all because of the totally different characteristics of how this grain flows through the combine when it's 1 row at a time versus when we're doing 8 rows at a time. So that's why we're going to use the cart to scale everything. We're going to take a moisture sample and do it just like we're doing a test ply here. So that's the procedure. Also, it's not a row of shame when it's for research purposes. When I'm doing one row at a time, it's not the row with my feelers on it, so I have to steer it manually. This is difficult. Anyway, Brock got our cart parked here. He almost did exactly what I asked. Almost. I told him to go fill the semi-truck that was up there and bring the cart back and park it, and then take the black truck back to the farm and get our measuring wheel and a marker, because I need a marker now. And he decided to take the semi, so it's going to take him longer, and now he doesn't have a ride back because he'll have to wait for a truck to get empty. And now Phil won't have a truck to take, but it's okay. We'll manage. I can keep him straight. Well, Brock made it back. We got a marker. He's got the measuring wheel. He's measuring our plot length. We'll wait for him to get out of the way. Get that written down. I imagine he'll want to ride back up there. And we'll keep going. This is the third one here, so we're doing, no, this is the fourth one. So we're doing rows 4 and 12. 13, 12. No, 13. 4 and 12. 13. Dang, I can't even. The last one was 3 and 14. This one would be 4 and 13. You guys get the irony of trying to learn about compaction in our field and the fact that I am now causing a ton of compaction by running this combine over the same strip 8 times instead of twice. You know, it's fine. Research. It's all for research. Also, this is why we don't trust yield monitors one row at a time. I don't think this is 450 bushel corn.
450?
That's what it says.
Well, there now it's 375.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's accurate. All right, we're getting towards the middle now. So this row that we were harvesting is outside the track. So the track ran between this row and the next one from the tractor. So this one and the next pass should be similar, and they should be the worst ones. The next one may be a little worse than this one because the planter tires ran inside of that one. So there was a little bit of a pinch row effect there. And then the center two should get better. But that's why we're doing the trial. So we are almost done here. We got one more strip after this. One thing I am noticing right here, there's a bit of a thin spot, and it's more towards the center rows of the planter than it was on the outside. I don't know if that's going to skew our results or not. I can't say that that thin spot is due to the compaction in the tire or tracks and the tires on the planter. So that may affect our results some, but I guess we'll see. Okay, we are done with our strips there. So we've got those samples, we've got to get those tested, and I've got to get the weights inputted into my spreadsheet that will calculate out the yields. I will try and do that this afternoon and show you guys the results yet. It will get posted to my seed business website eventually. I just don't know when all of that stuff is going to happen because, well, I've been busy. You know, I've been busy. Anyway, we're going to finish shelling this and be done so that we can start getting stuff moved or something. So we can do something other than shell corn and get ready to get the last of it down to Berkey. Down to the last little strip here. I think it's a round and a half or a half a pass after the full round, but almost done. Almost done. And Brock's going to empty the cart into a empty truck, which means we're going to get it done because we can get it all on the grain cart at least. I don't know where we're at with the bins. If the wet bin is full, if the dry bin is full, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Corn's going to be out of the field. Look, we even get to finish with some bonus rows. All right. Corn at Waldron, done. Harvest at Waldron, done. Excellent. Good deal. All right, well, we got to go test our samples. We got to get equipment ready to move to Berkey and maybe make a trip. It's 1:45. We've got time if we can get everything ready. Somehow I got it. This is not going to be fun. We're going to try and knock some dust off of here a little bit. We're getting it. Much better than it was, at least. This is not an end of year cleaning, so we aren't being super thorough. We're just trying to get the heavy stuff off. Not move too much Berkey if we don't have to. Good enough. All right, we're gonna head back to the farm. We're gonna drop the corn head. I'm not driving this all the way to Berkey with the corn head on it, so we'll put it on the header trailer and take it. We gotta test our samples yet, and we're gonna hook the 8R up to the grain cart. So we gotta get all of that stuff switched to the U-Harvest system and all of that. So we're gonna work on that. Okay, we got the head off, and we need fuel and def. We need to fill that up before we go, but I'm gonna pull this up in front of the shop. We're actually gonna get the power washer out. And we're not going to wash the whole thing and clean it, but I am going to get the windows cleaned off, and we're going to blow that black stuff off the side shields. I mean, it's probably not the worst thing in the world or that big of a deal, but those are disease spores that if we can leave them here, we're going to leave them here. And it'll make a negligible effect, but it'll make me feel better, plus our combine will look better. So, you know, look at that. Getting it, just a little bit more. We got the windows cleaned up nice. That is good. Well, it was a quick one, but it's a lot better than it was. We got the black stuff off. We got the windows cleaned up enough that I can see out of them, and maybe took some of the stickiness to them away. So, all right, we need fuel, and we need to make a plan. We're parking it. We're parking it. We're going to take the 8R on the cart down to Berkey for a couple of reasons. Number one, the tracks, right? I love the tracks. Tracks on the road, not so great, especially 18-inch skinny tracks. We've made that trip 3 times already this year. We could do it again if we needed to. We're really dry. We don't need the tracks. We don't have to have them for ground conditions and stuff, and so we're just gonna not make that trip and run it down there on the tracks again because we don't really need to. Number 2, hours. We're pushing 400 hours on this tractor, which I know is not a lot, especially not a lot in a year, but the other tractor over there has only got 185 on it. So let's put some hours on that tractor, keep them off of this one here a little bit while we don't really need it. The only thing we're really giving up, obviously, other than the tracks, is the machine sync. We aren't gonna be able to use machine sync with the 8R. Not a big deal, not a big deal. So Brock's fueling that tractor up, and we're gonna hook up the cart. We got to get our monitors out of here, the iPad mount, the U-Harvest box, and the camera screen, put them in that other tractor. No big deal. So I'm gonna take this and go put it in the back of the shop, and we will get to cleaning it up when we're done. Look at it, it's so pretty. Not you, Brock, not you. All right, so we got that all ready to go. Corn head is, yeah, we got to fold the snouts up, and we got to put fuel in the combine. And Dad is over there ripping, and then the field looks like it's almost done. Oh, looks like maybe he's in the front doing end row, not end rows, but he's got to be about done. So we might just wait for him to finish, or we should just go, because it's going to take us a lot longer to get there than it will him. And we'll get the combine, we'll get the cart, we'll get the corn head moved down there. We've got about 6,000 or 7,000 bushels of wet corn in the wet bin that we have nowhere to dry it to. All the dry bins are full, so that's about what we've got to haul out yet. So Phil is hauling dry corn right now and gonna keep working on that instead of moving, because we can't take the trucks to Berkey until we get the wet corn dried. Yeah, so that's kind of the bottleneck right now, or the thing that needs to happen the most, is hauling some dry corn out so we can finish drying the wet corn. So we're gonna let Phil keep working on that while we get some stuff moved. Brock's greasing the cart, and yeah, we're getting there. If you're a little bit lost because you're like, what are you talking about? Why are you moving? Where are you going? What's the deal? We farm. We have a separate farm, kind of, that's about 35 miles straight east of here. It's where my dad grew up, and we've got just about 600 acres total down there, but we've got about 280 of corn, and everything else is close to right around where we're sitting here. And so we're getting ready to make the move down there. We've got a separate drain set up down there and everything. And that's all the corn we've got left. So we're gonna go get it. Oh yeah. We gotta test our samples. Okay. Power ladder. So we got that trial stuff done. I got some numbers off of it, but I need to put it into an easy to analyze format, and that ain't gonna happen right now. And comparing to last year and stuff. So definitely some differences between rows. There was that thin spot that I kind of wonder if that didn't affect the results a little bit, because they're a little bit counterintuitive than what you would expect, but we did see some of the trends that I expected to see as well. So anyway, we're ready to roll out. Dad's done with the ripper, so he is going to bring the corn head down and pick up Brock and I, and we're going to take the 8R and the cart, the combine, head to Berkey. Couple of bean fields in here yet. A lot of crops in this area. See, then you get into an area like this and everything is gone. There's nothing left. Guy doing some tillage. Oh, that field looks like it has some beans in it actually, but double crop beans. Yeah, we're getting closer to Berkey. Yeah, those are beans, but they are double crops. Probably go pretty soon. Get some sunshine. Oh, we made it. That's a really easy trip until the last 6 or 7 miles. So it's about 35 miles from where we started from, and yeah, I didn't have a single car come past me from behind until we got about 6 miles away, and then 1 or 2 passed me, and then somebody decided they were going to follow me, and I gave them 5 or 6 opportunities to pass, where I am driving in the ditch, bouncing over all the bumps, out of the way as far as possible, and they would not pass, would not pass, would not pass. So eventually, I stopped giving you opportunities, and then when another car comes the other way, I get over and try again, and then, yeah, that car ended up following me for 6 miles. And there was other cars that got behind them that when I tried to give them a chance to pass, they don't want to jump out of line and pass because of the car in front of them. And just get around, man. I don't want people behind me when I'm on the road. Like, I'm going to give you a chance to get around me as soon as I can. But if you don't take it, that's it. That's your chance. So just go around. He made it. All right, we made it back to Waldron here, and Phil got 3 loads of corn hauled, got the overhead empty. He is drying corn into it, gonna load the trucks up, and we're gonna go from there. We'll see. We probably are gonna have to haul some corn in the morning, which is, it's okay. We'll deal with that. So anyway, I got the results back from my compaction study, and we're gonna go over all the agronomic trial results here. So let's go over that stuff here real quick, and then we'll wrap this one up. All right, we're going to do a real fancy split screen, this year's results, last year's results, and I'm going to do it on my phone because I'm not going to take the time to figure out how to do a screen record right now. So anyway, let's start with soybeans. So population this year. Our 60,000 went 66.7, our 100,000 was 75.4, 140 was 75.4. So there was no difference. At the top 2, the 60,000 was not enough this year. Now 66 is not bad yield at 60,000 population, but we clearly gave up some there. So compare that to last year, same populations, we were at 79.3, 80.2, 80.4. So again, no real difference between 100 and 140,000, but not as significant of a difference between the 60 and 100 as what we saw this year. Okay, so what that tells me is 100,000 is probably enough. Sulfur trial, exact same thing here. Sorry, it's focusing like that, but this was this year's results. 0 gallons, they went 75. 10 gallons went 79.3, helped a little bit. 20 gallons, 80.5, helped a little bit more, but not enough to pay for 10 gallons of ATS. Over here last year, 79.8, 80.3, 80.9. Not a huge payback on that one last year. We saw more this year than last year. Now, 2 years ago, we did this and saw a big return too, but I don't have those results right in front of me. So anyway, that's what we got on beans. Now, corn. Our corn starter rates are different from this year to last year because my product that I was using was different. This one didn't work out quite like we thought it would. So the 0 was 209.9. 7 gallons went up to 247. 10.5 went down to 231. I can't explain that other than variability in the field. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What did we see last year? We had 0, 10, and 20 gallons. 0 was 174. We went down at the 10 to 169, and then we jumped up to 186. So did it make a difference last year? Yes, but not exactly what you would expect. So I don't know. Don't know. Can't explain that one. Now this one here, you did see the test weight got better with the starter and the moisture dropped with the starter. And it was pretty much flat here. Moisture even picked up just a little bit from 0 to the other one. So is what it is. V5 fungicide this year. On this particular trial, it was 1.5 bushels. Wasn't a lot. Didn't help a lot. Last year, it was 23 bushel. We'll have to look at some field side-by-sides on this one this year, but I don't know that one paid like it has in the past. Now, our population was different this year. We did a little different setup with the 2 hybrids. So we had the 10D21 and the 10L16, and really this is the only stuff you need to look at. So the 10D21 at 30,000 was 252, 36 went 274, 42 went down to 266. I think 42 is pushing it too hard. I think we pushed that one a little bit too hard here and in our irrigated field. But that 274 is really good at 36,000. The 10L went 263 at the lower pop, much better than the 10D. Went 266 in the mid pop and down to 251 at 42. We definitely pushed that one too hard. That one does not have the agronomics to hand up to that kind of population. So, all right, now, did we do that last year? Kind of similar. 28 was 182, 178, 174. I don't know what hybrid that was, but that's kind of the opposite of what you would expect, right? Pinch row compaction. This is the one everybody wants to see. So these are our results from today. So rows 1 and 16, the outside rows went 255. Okay, that's a good yield. 2 and 15 went 266. So as we came in off the end of the planter to actually the row that is between the wing wheels on the planter, the yield jumped 11 bushel. All right. We'll explain that one in a minute. All right, so rows 3 and 14, what would be on the inside of the planter wing tires, but still a tire track on half of them, or one side of the row, 263. Very similar to that 266. I would not call that statistically significantly different. Rows 4 and 13 and 5 and 12. Those are the ones that have no wheels on either side of the row. Look how good the yield was there. 274, 286. So I could make the argument that our wing wheels are costing us 10 bushel, 10 to 20, just there. And then we get to where it gets a little more interesting. So rows 6 and 11 dropped all the way to 214. Now remember I said that we had some stand issues in that one spot. I wonder if that didn't play a role in this one a little bit and drop that yield some. That was the pass where I really noticed it the worst. I don't know. I can't explain that. But rows 7 and 10, this is the one that would have been pinch rows last year. Jumps all the way back up to 261, which is very similar to what these ones out here, where we had a track on one side of the row, or the tire track from the planter. And then 8 and 9 that are not next to the planter tracks, but are on the inside, not next to the tractor tracks, but are on the inside by the planter tracks at a 265. And so what I feel like is important here is look at the average at that 260 and whether they were above or below that average. And yeah, so 6 and 11 is the one there. Like, what happened? Why was that one so bad? And did our tracks really help? Well, let's go back and compare to last year, okay? So we're going to come back over here and look at what we had here. So rows 1 and 16, 222, and then we jump to 2 and 15, and the yield jumps again. Same thing we saw this year. Not much more significant last year, but it jumped up to 250. 3 and 14, 251. Again, very similar, right? Very similar, okay? And then we get into 5 and 12 and 4 and 13, where there was no compaction on either side, and they were similar all the way across here. So it looks like our wing wheels didn't hurt us last year like they maybe did a little bit this year. 245, 259, those are all pretty similar. Now we get to that 6 and 11, we drop to 217, where we dropped to 214 here. It was this more significant drop this year. But then 7 and 10, look at that one. 188 versus jumping back up to 261. That's the difference. And then 8 and 9 was at 249, kind of back up where everything else was. 8 and 9, 265, kind of back up where everything else was. So some similarities and a little bit of difference. The rows 6 and 11 one sort of confuses me a little bit this year. But what really jumps out to me is rows 7 and 10, where here it was the worst. And you could make an argument that it was 60 bushel off from the rows next to it. And here it was 4 bushels off, right? So you'd have to do a lot of real good data analysis, probably replicate this to draw any real conclusions from it and tell exactly what kind of savings that our tracks made for us. But I think rows 7 and 10 kind of tell the story, where those are more even with what we're seeing on the rest of the planter, and we're only have a huge yield reduction on 1 row versus having it on 2 rows over here last year with the tires on the 8R that we planted with. So I think that's pretty indicative and pretty definitive advantage to tracks. Now, I spent a lot of money buying tracks, and I want to see that. That's the result that I want, and so I'm probably a little bit biased there. But we could dig into that farther. Like I said, I think you could go in and do some analysis with how, like a standard deviation or a deviation from the average kind of thing, and what percent reduction did we have where we had tires versus where we didn't, and come up with a better number. But I feel fairly confident saying that those tracks are gonna pay for themselves over the course of 4, 5, 6 years, or the 10 years that we're gonna have that tractor or longer. So yeah, I'm happy with that decision, and I think that they paid. Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I keep meaning to say this earlier in the videos, and I keep forgetting, and I need to remind you to subscribe because I want to get to 25,000 by the end of the year. We got 2 months. You guys can do it for me. Hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. So tomorrow, we're going to shell some corn down to Berkey. It might be the middle or late afternoon before we get to it, but we're going to do it. So we've got to probably haul some dry corn in the morning to get our wet bin empty, or enough room to get our wet bin empty. We've got to get the trucks moved down to Berkey. Dad's got to pick some parts up for us. Brock's going to disc. Dad's going to spray. We got all kinds of stuff happening, but we're going to keep shelling corn. So thanks for watching this one. Have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.